And so when you were tasked with doing Diesel Reboot campaign of already kind of incredibly innovative companies, what did you think of, and how did Tumblr come to mind to be sort of in the center of that?
You know, fashion is always very impenetrable. So even when you look at brands like Burberry or Gucci, who have been very insightful in opening themselves up to digital marketing or social media, it's often a one-way dialogue. You know, it's from us to you. Show us how cool and how great we are. So when when Nicola Formichetti came on, and he was sort of the mastermind behind Lady Gaga's Meet Dress and all these really crazy conceptual ideas, when he was her creative director for years, we thought a lot. We thought very deeply about, like, what do you do when you rebrand today? In the past, I'm old and I worked on Burberry when it was rebranded, and at that point, you could just go out and say, "Hey, I'm cool, I'm interesting," but you can't do that anymore. You can't say that about yourself. You sound like a brand. From a brand point of view, you sound sort of ignorant. So our thesis for Diesel, which we called sort of Diesel Reboot, is if you're going to remake a brand, you have to do it with the audience. You have to do it with the community. So it was sort of a mandate for us that we had a place where we could engage that community, because creativity doesn't happen in a vacuum anymore. There's no, Nicola says this all the time, he's not like some creative director sitting in an ivory tower coming up with ideas. He's inspired by the people around him, what he sees and what he reads and what he sees, and most often on Tumblr. So really, for us, it was sort of a natural extension of what he does, what his creative team does on a regular basis, but also knowing that modern day marketing from top to bottom is a dialogue, that from everything from your logo to the colors you use to where you might have a party next can be more interesting if you have an audience that can give you those insights.